You able to talk a little bit about what your plans for apprenticeships are moving forwards and how that interfaces with some of the other things that we do?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our kind of default position is all growth in the business is going to be based around recruiting apprentices. And it's just how fast is the business growing is how fast we can take on new apprentices. One of the very practical challenges is, cybersecurity is a knowledge-based skill set. Yeah, if you think about some of the more traditional apprentices that Jim was mentioning, if you're working in a factory or a hairdresser's or something, you can start adding some value on your second day as an apprentice. Yeah, you can be picking stuff up, you can be sweeping, you can be doing something valuable. Whereas, the nature of what we do, and I think this kind of proved to be true in our first cohort when Jim and Jamie joined us. We guessed it's going to take about 6 months for them to come up to the point where actually they're able to start doing billable customer work. And so that's quite a long overhead that you need to kind of build into the business before you can take on a new apprentice. And I think it's kind of a structural issue that is always going to be a challenge. If you're a very big organization, then that's easier to absorb. Obviously, we're a lot smaller, so it is something that is a bit harder for us. And obviously it limits the speed at which we can move. But that's our plan. Our mission is to grow the business to be not just Cornwall's firewall, but to protect businesses across the world. I mean, we've got customers on 3 continents at the moment, and we've got proposals out to Australia to make 4. So, one of the great things about cybersecurity is that 90% of what we do is completely remote. And that was one of the key dawning moments at the founding of the business. We were watching a documentary on telly. It might have been Rick Steinbach, I can't remember, but I remember there's an interview with a couple of youngsters, and one of them said, the trouble with Cornwall is there's plenty of jobs but no careers. And that was one of the ideas that really kind of stuck with us. How can we create some careers in Cornwall? And that's what we want to do. I'm not saying we'll never bring in an experienced hire. We might, win some business. We just need to bring some skills in that we don't have. But all things being equal, the plan is apprentices all the way, be that 3 or 4, and potentially higher. As Jim said, we've talked about plans for the future. And again, our working assumption is finish the level 4, have a break, but then roll on to the next one. What's the next level up? So go into a degree level apprenticeship or something like that, because we need to develop the skills in-house, and we see our first cohort of apprentices moving up through the organization and managing their own apprentices that come in underneath them and so on. And that's what we've got